I've been poor and popular for far too long while I've been building this company, and I'm done. I'm at the end of it.
Compost and cotton and cornrows.
Welcome to the Compost, Cotton, and Cornrows podcast, and I'm your host, Dominique Drakeford. And today, we're joined by Christa Barfield, aka FarmerJawn, founder of the largest Black woman-owned regenerative farm in the United States. And we're breaking down the layers of why profitability and wealth building is the real sustainability metric. Let's get into it. I was about to be like, FarmerJawn, Christa. I'm so excited to have you on the pod. Welcome in.
Thank you. So happy to be here.
Yes, I'm so excited for our conversation and all things. Largest Black woman-owned regenerative farm in America, right? That's a real fact.
I mean, that is a thing. That is a thing. And
That's a
honestly,
thing?
that's a thing definitely in the Northeast. I don't know. I say that because I want other people to pop out and check me. Like, I
Yes,
want people to be
look.
like, nope, I'm here because where are y'all? I'm trying to see where we at because I know there has to be more of us.
Yes.
And maybe they just don't have a voice. And I want to be a part of collaborating to platform so we all can win.
I love that approach. Let me put myself on this mountain and then y'all come check me so we can build this
Get me.
coalition. I'm here for that. But before we get into all the things, I'd love to ground us in a definition. I'd love to know how you define sustainability.
Ooh, that's a good one. Thank you for that.
Absolutely.
The answer is very clear to me. And the way I define sustainability is profitability. And the reason for that is that there is so much hard work and strain that goes into doing this work at a high level and doing so well. And it often is definitely aligned with popularity and poorness. Those are also themes that have woven through my almost 8 years of entrepreneurship of doing this work. And so I recognize in order to go strong and truly have longevity in this sustainability work, you have to sustain. And in order to sustain, you have to be profitable so that you can continue to pay people well and also take care of yourself as the anchor in this work. So that is how I define it.
Okay. So another farmer who I interviewed on the last season, her name is Ivy. I don't know if you're familiar with Ivy Farm. She's based in Texas. And she was the only other person who is like profitability. And I find that
Really? Yeah.
interesting. Yes. Black women, Black femme farmers are like, we got to get to the coin.
Yes. It's important.
Okay, can we unpack this a little more? Because you would think that as a farmer is like, community and health and wellness and uh, you know, disrupting the system, but it's really like the root of it is financial sustainability. I'd love to know, was this always the case through your journey?
I mean, it's for everyone that is an entrepreneur, but everyone that's a farmer for sure. In order to actually have access to land and be able to hold on to it, you have to be profitable. In order to pay the people to work the land, you got to be profitable. In order to sustain yourself as just your basic human needs, you have to be profitable, especially because I put everyone in front of me. I do know Ivy. Her and I have never met, but we have spoken, years ago, just from being in the same movement. And it comes down to health, right? Like, to me, the 3 pillars of my company are physical health, social health, and environmental health. Those are the 3. I make no decisions on how we move as an organization without checking all 3 of those boxes. And in order for all of that to actually have some longevity, like, what good is it if I'm here and I do these great things and then it just fizzles out? In order for it not to fizzle, I have to be making money, paying people well along the way. Like, my team, the full time that people that work for me range between 50K and 80,000. And every year I try to nudge that further and further higher. And I can't do that unless we're making money. I've been poor and popular for far too long while I've been building this company, and I'm done. I'm at the end of it. I would like that to be over. I don't want that to be to be my life. I don't want that, and I don't deserve that either. And so I've done a lot of sacrifice, and I always say it's like how I raised my children. I said I did my part, and I
Mm.
need y'all to do your part. And so this is where it's like, if I've done all this building, where is the reward for me to keep going? 8 years is a long time to have so much instability in my personal life so that I can have a blossoming business. And I think we got to get to a point where that we're hitting the curve.
Do you feel like you're at a position now where you're considered quote unquote lucrative as far
Well,
as
I'll
farmers
let you
goes?
know when these contracts come through at the in quarter 1.
That's real. That's
um
real.
But I can answer that to say that I've been able, and I feel blessed to be able to manage these salaries of people for these years. I mean, it's been 3 to 4 years of paying people to really do this work, and like not even just paying people part time, like livelihoods.
I
Like
know that's right.
I am their person. I am their employer. I am the person that they look to being needing to be successful in order for them to continue. And I look to them for the same. So it's like, hey, they're an investment. And these
Mm.
are people at the same time who I tremendously care about. And I also care about myself. And their purpose for being here is very well understood, is that you are amazing. You are great. I appreciate and revere your gifts. Now let's multiply and convert so we can get to this bag, so
That
that
part.
not only you are taken care of, but also I am as well. And then we can continue to replicate this model. And that's how businesses are built. Being undercapitalized, there's no excuse for it. To be able to build what I've built over these last years and to still not be invested in the proper way, there's definitely an imbalance to how things are typically done for somebody that may not look like me, to the opposite, right? And we know that we can clearly see that in society. So ultimately, me sharing this message is so people understand that sustainability equals profitability.
Yeah. 100%. And especially in the agricultural space. Like there's no reason why Black farmers, Black agriculturalists are not thriving in every aspect of their livelihood in this moment. What would you say is the most important or pivotal or even transformational money move you made thus far, that really created or planted a seed economically for FarmerJawn?
I would say there's a couple. The very first time I had a commercial lease, I had no idea what I was doing. No clue. And nobody really knew who I was either, especially in this space. And when I decided in 2022 that I was going to get my first commercial lease, I paid $3,500 as a deposit down. That was the biggest check I had ever written.
Yeah. Okay.
And I was like, okay, I'm giving this to this person. I'm going to get this farm. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't have an attorney at this time. I don't have no guidance.
Mm.
Um, and that's when, but that is also the same time when FarmerJawn saw this trajectory of just growth, where people were coming out the woodwork, media coming out the woodwork, like, hey, we saw you took over this farm. This was at the time was a 1 acre property with 50,000 square feet of greenhouse space. And I'm here saying, like, I am going to impact and change the state of food security in Philadelphia. And that is me, like, with this message, and I have this space to do it. And it also ended up being a tragic ending, not from any fault of mine, but ultimately just not knowing how to move in the business space. So that was a big lesson for me, big money move for me, investing dollars that I barely had after coming off of quitting my job and coming into this space afresh. So I would say that was definitely the one that started the pendulum swinging.
Yeah. And now, what is the financial dream team for a farmer? Like lawyer, advisor, like who's on the squad to help support you?
Yeah, the Holy Trinity, I like to call them.
Tell us about the
And,
Trinity.
yeah, the Trinity when it comes to business, especially in agriculture. Well, honestly, I'll just start with business. Is it comes down to you having an attorney, even if you're paying them fractionally, that's fine. Your accountant, again, can be fractional, and then your insurance adjuster. Like those three are so, so important for you to just have somebody you can tap in with and just say, hey, I have a question. Before I'm about to sign this contract, lawyer, can you please review this?
Mm.
Hey, before I looked at this math, but I want to make sure that the math truly math, CFO, can you look at this? Insurance adjuster, I am about to invite all these volunteers on my farm. I want to make sure that that's okay. What you think?
Yeah.
Like, all of the, and then they all work together. Like, that's the other thing, is they all need to understand what's going on so that they can help mitigate any risk. But also, if you get yourself into something, they can help you maneuver out of it properly. And so though I can't move without them.
You over here spitting facts, and I think this is the conversation in the context that is critical but also not often talked about in the agriculture farming space, right? Because again, the health and wellness and mitigating food insecurity, discussing food apartheid, all of that is crucial. But the business aspect is what I feel is a critical missing link. And it's the last piece because we're gonna get off the coin, but I'm just finding this really fascinating, and you are like, "Woo, I love it." Um, when it comes to loans, what is that life like? Especially 2025 going into 2026, 2026 going into 2027.
A necessary evil is what I will say to you. And it's important. And a lot of people can't understand that the just business in general is built on loans. Everybody don't own everything. And I mean that in the sense of also loaning land. Like, I am literally, if you're leasing or renting land, it's on loan. And you're also taking an investment of, say if you're taking up to $1 million. I am about $1.25 million in to my business over these last 8 years. And to
Mhm.
me, and it should be more than that at this point, to be quite honest with you, but it's because I'm undercapitalized. I have
Yeah.
not been given the opportunity to be able to take on millions of dollars. And there's a whole bunch of systemic reasons for that. And at the same time, taking on dollars should not be scary, again, if you have the proper team
Yeah.
to make sure you're doing the right thing. Um, so that's how I look at it, is that now I'm not fearful. When I look at how much money I spend in payroll a year, it's just like, this is the cost of doing business.
Yeah.
This is, any type
This is
of,
bottom line.
this is how it goes. And if I want to grow, if I want to be that multi-million-dollar business that I say I want to be, you got to start acting like it and moving like it, and moving away from the fear for execution. Having the fear is okay, recognizing it and processing it, but then getting beyond it so that you can execute and do what's necessary. So to be able to get a loan to actually do the work is an amazing feeling.
Mm.
Anytime I am approved for a loan, $250,000 or more, I'm just like, this is the needle moving. This is what I asked for. So I'm ready for it at this point. And so I always like to talk to entrepreneurs in regards to that. Like, let's be strategic about what you're going to do with the money before you even get the money.
Mm.
And then and move accordingly.
Take it. Okay, this is my last one. I thought
Okay.
my last one was my last one, but this is my last one. What would you say are the top 3 most important sources of funding? Like, we're looking federal, philanthropic
Yeah, no.
advocacy? Is it B2C? Like, what are the 3 pillars, the holy grail? Look, Imma go with your 3 holy grail. What are the holy
Yeah.
grail?
I really like people.
Okay.
People will, if you have done the job of the storytelling aspects and you're able to do that well, I like private investors. I like people I can have a conversation with, that they're easy to get to. They're easy, they can get to me. They're not a machine. And you can have a real conversation with. So one would be private investors, and because you can negotiate, it's not, it's very different talking person to person. And then in addition to that, there are the foundations. I love working with foundations who are mission aligned,
Mm.
that can see the work, that can see all the strain that has took to get to point A to point B, and understands why I need the dollars to get to point C. And they also see the value in you being an individual that is the one that can bring this vision alive. You're the only one that can do this. So I recognize that those are, I would say, the two. And then the third one is, mm, Oh, it's hard. I'm definitely not gonna go bank, and I'm definitely not gonna go feds. But I will say states. If you can make good relationships with have good relationships with your state, there are a lot of funding that lives within your state government that you can look at. You can tap in with your city council people as well, or even your state reps that can let you know about grants that are coming down the pipeline.
Mm,
And with all three of those, they're the least barrier to entry as
mm,
well,
mm,
which is also important because once you get into the federal grants, like the paperwork is absolutely absurd. It's like, why are you asking this question 6 different ways? And it just doesn't make sense. So I would say those are the three for
mm.
sure.
Love it. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate this wealth, this knowledge. So you're managing over 100 acres, girl.
Yeah, it's quite a bit. It's quite a
And
when you
that's
walk it doesn't seem like it though.
okay, because I'm like, how? How, Sway? How are you managing over 100? And I know you have the team piece, but is it truly baked into community involvement? Is it just your organizational database skills? Like, I have a hard time managing my household. So so you're managing over 100 acres and really focusing on, like, nutrition security and land stewardship and just educating just public health in general. Please tell
Yeah.
me how.
Yeah, honestly, rest is really baked into that entire model on every way because people often forget that rest is not just for people, rest is for land as well.
Mm,
And so when we talk about the different cycles and the ways that we rotate crops throughout the farm, we do it in a restful way, and that's what land needs in order to actually regenerate. To be regenerative, you have to rest, and it's the same as for people. So yes, I have a director of agriculture, I have a director of education and research, and I am looking for a director of retail and experiences. So putting that out
I
there.
saw the ad on Instagram.
Yes, yes. But those things, it helps to make sure that it's being properly managed, but not directly managed by me. And so that's the way that that runs. And again, with it's 128 acres of land across 3 different locations in Pennsylvania. 123 at one, 5 at another, and then our small inner city area that we have. Um, I can't do it without my team, and we are rotating crops. So none of that, all of that acreage is not being farmed at the same time at any given time.
Yeah.
Everything is being done in quadrants to make sure that there's proper rest being given in respect to the land and the soil. So that is how it's being done. I mean, we typically have about 40 acres going at a time.
Mhm.
And you'd be surprised what you can do with a small and mighty team
Mm.
that's dedicated and understands their mission and are focused on getting it done.
I love it. And what all are you growing?
Well, that list goes on and on, but we're
Or
definitely growing.
or don't look, you don't gotta look, I just realized I'm not speaking to a a small gardener, right? So what are some of the, I guess, most successful in terms
Yes.
of demand, right?
Yes. I mean, obviously, demand. My mind goes straight to sweet corn. This is the
Okay.
first year we were able to
Mm.
successfully do sweet corn at a much higher level than we have in the past. We did about 3 acres of it this year, and we were able to do it in a way that didn't have as much earworm. And because we're organic, that's a struggle for a lot of organic farmers. Is like, how do
Pest
you grow this
control.
crop? It's like I'm never going to use chemicals. We never have, we never will start. We already took the time to regenerate the soil from what it was being used for in the past, which was chemical agriculture. So now that we're in year 4 on that particular, the larger property, we're not going backwards. So like we gonna grow this corn and it might have a earworm like 1 out of every 20, but for the most part, you're gonna get the great sweetness that you want and that you love, and you won't enjoy this corn.
I know that's right.
But ultimately, I mean, we grow a lot of leafy greens and vegetables. We have a really heavy focus on heritage crops, which I'm so, so proud of. Like our director of research education, Farmer Bree, everybody who knows her loves her. And she is very, very much connected to heritage and understanding lineage and ancestry of seeds. And so we have some amazing Nigerian spinach spinach is a cold weather crop. Many people don't know that. It only grows in cooler weather, and it honestly tastes the best when it's cooler. Most leafy greens are better in the cold for sure. When you
Yeah.
get to the like August summer heat,
Yeah.
most everything is checked out or it has a lot of pest pressure. And so having the Ifo shoko, which is Nigerian spinach, be available in the summer, and how gorgeous it is. It's green and it's pink. I'm just so proud of that crop because we now have built a market for it that did not exist. We have chefs now asking for Ifo shoko.
Yes.
And it's like, oh, so like it mattered that when we started growing that 2 years ago and like now have enough seed to be able to replant. That's what I love about how we grow is that we're super intentional about starting crops on our smaller farm, gaining popularity for them, growing that demand, and then scaling them up to our larger farm with seed that we grew.
I
And
love
that's what
it.
excites me about it. Yeah.
Two things from that. Are you wholesaling and are you selling seeds or do you keep
So
everything in-house?
we don't sell seeds, we
Okay.
give seeds
You give
away.
seeds. Okay.
We do. So we have, and we do that with other farmers, like people that we connect with. If you're not familiar yet, you need to get familiar with Marie Magruder. This amazing woman, a part of the Southern Black Belt and holding on to the land that's been in her family since the 1860s.
Mm,
We sent her some seeds in Alabama. And so it's just, I love how she's going to be growing seeds that we harvested and saved in the north, in the northeast. She's going to be growing in the south, and it's just a really beautiful thing. So we give seeds away to other farmers that we meet at conferences, and Farmer Bree sent a slew of seeds out as gifts and just thank you for being who you are and doing the work that you do. And yeah, so that's how we're just going to continue to push and proliferate. But what we typically do with the seeds is we save them, grow enough of them so that we can regrow them the next season.
part of regeneration.
Absolutely.
Um, oh, and then wholesale.
We don't wholesale seeds,
Okay.
no.
No, no,
No,
no. Wholesale, any of
produce?
your
Oh,
growing.
yeah. Wholesale is wholesale and retail are our 2 biggest sectors of our
Okay, I
company,
figured.
for sure.
Okay. Okay. And then look, we've been tossing this word around regeneration and we live in a sustainability space. And me personally, I've too often heard it framed solely from a technical practice. And I love that your work is also treating it as cultural restoration.
Mm.
So I'd love to know how you I don't even wanna say define, but how you embody regenerative agriculture so folks can understand what that even means and what that looks like from your vantage point.
Yeah, I mean, it's leaving the planet alone, and I would put an expletive in there, but then we're gonna keep it kid friendly.
Yeah.
But to me, honestly, in order to regenerate people and planet, like, that word to me, like, again, we just live so symbiotically. The way that we do that is by backing off. Again, it goes back to that word rest and restoration, but it's just like, why are you putting all those things in your body? Why are you putting, do you even know what you're putting in your body? Same thing with the land. Why are we adding all these chemicals into the soil? For what? If we allow the land and if we allow ourselves to truly heal, the land will do the work on its own. Our bodies will do the work on its own. It will regenerate. And so to me, regeneration is just allowing the earth to do what it's already been good at before we got involved.
Mm. Pe Perfect. Thank you for that. And just expanding this idea of rest. Aside from rest, what are some other ways that you and your team and the whole ecosystem that you're building is mitigating burnout? Like, what are some
Mhm.
more rituals that y'all are embodying?
Everybody in our team is very unique and everybody has their own way of doing things. I'm a spa girly. That's definitely one of the things. And so for our team retreat this year, I took all of us to the spa.
Yes, team
We
retreat.
literally took off for one day. And I took all of us. I was like, this is the day we're planning. I'm gonna let the public know the store is closed and we are going to the spa for a day. And to me, that's important. And that's modeling. as well, and we model for our team, and just like we do for our children, because it's super important for them to understand, like, yes, we do have these results driven endeavors that we're on, this path that we're on, but at the same time, you gotta like take some time to relax and do what's important to you. um and then I have people on my team who love astrology, who are really into that, and so they'll come in, they'll do readings, they'll also give out moon charge crystals to people, and
I love
um
that.
so our team really does a good job of taking care of each other. And food, food is also something that's great, and so anytime we have an opportunity, I'm giving out, ordering food for the team, or bringing in a chef to be able to cook for us at the end of the season. So those are kind of some of the things that we're doing. And I just told my director of agriculture that I want to install a nap room on the farm. It's one of my dreams.
Yo, that would be legendary.
A shed,
Okay,
like literally getting a
come on.
shed insulated and just having a few chairs. Like, so when you take your lunch, like, we're on a farm, we have no real warm places or temperature controlled places on the farm.
Mm,
So it's like you need a place to just be able to chill, that's either cool or warm or whatever you need it to be, private. You want to eat your lunch in private, you don't have to do that in your car. So it's just some of the things that I think about coming from a corporate environment
yeah.
that really was like where we was eating our lunch at our desk most of the time. I want to, impart balance in the way that we are running the organization. And I start that thought process with my directors, because they're my direct reports, so that they can ensure that they're providing a similar experience for the people that they're managing as well. Yeah, that's where I'm at.
Girl, I hope you get a grant just for that, and then put
You
that
just spoke
in
it.
a new agricultural business model, because 'cause I've never heard of a nap room, sleep room, whatever you wanna call it, on a farm, like, that's
Just spoke
everything.
I just wrote that down, that I need to find a grant that
Find a
will.
grant specifically for that, and you can make a case.
Yeah.
I feel like you'd be able to easily articulate why that's necessary and get the funding and have that built, and then that becomes a FarmerJawn model
Yeah.
for real. Like, not even for fake. I'm dead ass.
Uh-huh. I'm gonna do it. It's happening.
Yes. I feel like I've heard you also just thinking about rest and everything about food being medicine, right?
Mm.
And I'm curious to know if your 8 years of farming has revealed anything, healing or surprising for you as it relates to medicine, outside
Absolutely.
of the ordinary.
Yeah. So then these words are now so cliche. I was just
Yeah.
talking to somebody about this. I'm just like, I'm frustrated how people like just put their hooves in something, and like all these grants now are like, oh, food is medicine. We want to support this and the government and I'm just like, this has always been the case. Like the Hippocratic Oath is based on this, do no harm, and literally our system is based on doing people harm on a daily basis.
Literally, yeah.
And so when I think about it, the answer to your question is yes. Like I feel I just ran a 10 miler. First of all, I hadn't run, and I don't even know how long. I grew up running cross country when I was a child. Now, what, 20 years later, I just celebrated my 20-year anniversary of high school. And so I I picked up this same year. I probably trained for maybe 3 weeks, barely, and I ran a 10 miler. I was like,
Congratulations.
thank you, thank you.
That's
Something
major.
I never even thought. I was just like, "Oh, okay, I'll do it." Never thought about running ever since, and so I was just very happy to know that my body was still able to do these things. As you start
Mm.
to get closer to 40, I mean, when you hit 30, things start to like, "Hello? Are you?" They start to break down, things feel like a creakety, you
Mhm.
know? And now, as I enter into heading into my 40th year in a couple years, I'm like, okay, you got to make sure that you are taking care of your body. And I recognize that nutrient density is really ingrained in how, not just how food is grown and how you take care of the plant, but even before the plant. Like, how do you take care of the soil? How are you really giving that nourishment and enrichment in order to prepare for what you're about to plant?
Mm.
And so that is, I have seen in all the ways, even with my customers, like I have a customer who came to me and said my skin has never been this clear in years. And the nice thing about this, these are called claims, right? These are claims being made by people. But now there is this research. There's a company called Edacious, and I'm sure there's other ones like them that now actually you can send your crops to them and they can send you back a whole panel about nutrition. What is the
Wow.
nutrition of that plant? And so the fun and exciting thing for that for me is that we get to do that year after year now. So I'm going to be able to see a panel of what it was in 2025 and then be
Wow.
able to look at 2026 and see what the change in nutrition has been, and then be able to go back to the soil science to see, okay, what was the changes we made in the soil that now has done this for the good or for the bad, so that we
Right.
can continue to make positive changes. And I'm just like, yes, more of this, please. So
That's
food is medicine.
incredible.
Yeah, food is medicine is going to be it's always been real to me, but we're going to make it so that people know how to actually apply it into their lives, and how do you eat for your own health, and how do you eat for your own nutrition, because everybody is different.
Yeah. But wait, 1 second. Going back to that soil science, what was it called?
The company,
The
the
company.
nutrition science, Edacious.
Because then I also feel like they'd be able to just have research and development also around climate change and how that's affecting the crops as well, I would
And
imagine.
And that is, you know what? I don't know, but that's a great question for them. They were at Climate Week.
Huh?
I've met them way before that, but they were at Climate Week this past year as well. And somebody I know actually works there. And so, yeah, I'm looking forward to really digging in with them to see
Yeah.
what the possibilities are.
Yeah.
For sure. We
Yeah.
need enough with the silos, right? We
No,
have
for
enough
real, for
silos.
real. I mean, the looking at the nutritional value and seeing how that shifted so that you can, make the necessary changes, but also environmental, the ways in which different elements are impacting the crops as well. I think that that is a important ask also.
Indeed, indeed.
Hmm, science, but
Yes.
what are you just like? What do you feel is radically possible right now?
Mm. You know, it really comes back to the black and agriculture piece for me. I was just having a conversation with someone yesterday as I was saying that it's wonderful to be the first or the largest or the this in the black space, right? It's wonderful, and I think it's beautiful because it's necessary
Yeah,
in order for there to be more people to come behind us, understand mistakes and challenges, and know how to move properly.
yeah.
And at the same time, I want to be the best.
Period.
And and I will be.
Yeah.
And that is really the goal. I want to be the best. And then I want you to look at the company named FarmerJawn based out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. You see all the accolades and the wonderful things that we've done for environmental health, social health, and physical health of people. And then you be like, oh, she black? Oh, she got
Mm.
cornrows and beads? Oh,
Yes.
like,
Yes.
I am looking forward to that because it's a necessity in this world that we live in right now, this America that we live in. The volatility levels are so high. And so we have to protect ourselves and protect our own energy. And in order to do that, for me, it is to simply aspire and move in the direction of being the best and walk like I know that I am. And that is how we get to the what we as black people call the promised land. That is how we get to the true realization of knowing who we are and being who we are, and then seeing people recognize who we are.
Yeah.
That's the moment I am just like so excited for, and it's already happening in its incremental ways. And yeah, that multi-million dollars that I'm looking to is like that's going to solidify it for me.
Period. And you mentioned accolades. Shout out to James Beard
Thank
award
you.
winner. I see you.
Thank you.
I see you. Okay, look, you lifted up how you take up space as a black woman. The melanin, the hair. Hair is always on point, by the way.
Thank
Um,
you.
ha- when you show up in spaces, have you actually had any slaps in the face with how you present, or is that old news?
Slaps in the face with how I present, I would say not exactly. Excuse me. And not on a large level. I'd say I've had some one-on-ones, which maybe it was like 2 years ago with a gentleman who I was invited to come to an event. I wasn't there to speak. I was there to just be there. I was introduced by someone who brought me to this person who had some status in the organization that was putting on the event. And then you give your quick pitch, why who you are and what you do, and they immediately just tried to rebut all without any basis or really real information of like why this won't work. And I was just like, okay. And I've started to realize there are spaces you're supposed to be in, and there's also spaces you're not. And I'm truly still working on the discernment of knowing which one of those, how that works, because a part of me is like, I'm going to go and be the only because it's important for us to be there. And then the other side of me is discerning, do I need to be there? Because if I'm not going to be met with the respect that I know that I deserve, should I even allow my presence to be in this space? So I haven't quite figured that out yet because there is a mix. But I will say I've done a lot of going into spaces where we're not there. And I think that's important because it leads to your name being mentioned in rooms that you're
Yeah.
not even in.
Yeah.
So I don't have a distinct yes or no or real answer for that question as of yet, because I think that's something I'm definitely still working through is being where I belong and figuring out where I belong, right?
Yeah. Yeah, figuring out when it's necessary to be present and fight, or is my presence not necessary here, and but I think that discernment is something that we are all grappling with. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know if that will ever fade, right?
Yeah.
And I think you lifted up something really, really important in terms of being in spaces and being in rooms, and the necessity to be the only one sometimes is mandated in order to push the pendulum forward. Something my fiance and I have said in the past is, yeah, if I'm gonna be here, if I'm gonna be the token, best believe we gonna ask for a token tax.
Oh, indeed. Indeed. I know I am here.
Indeed. Like, we are
Like, you
well
need to be here.
aware of I'm aware. We're aware of what's going on here, but you're gonna have to run the coin,
Yes,
so
when
that
you're
this
invited
coin
for
can.
1,000%.
You said what?
When you're invited 1,000%. Like, you're inviting me here. I'm looking around. Oh yeah, I know why. I understand.
Of
Yeah. And it's
course.
a good effort. I think you're making a good effort. Like, this is my thought
100%.
process
And
is
it's
like,
not
you
even to take away from that. Like,
absolutely.
you could have, decent intentions.
Mhm.
Um, but the reality is also,
Also.
right.
Yes, and.
Yes, and dot dot dot. Love it, love it, love it. How much agricultural land does Bill Gates own?
Oh, I
Do you
honestly
know
at
that
this point I
stat?
don't even know. I think it's like 200,000 acres or something, and I could be low. Like, honestly, I don't even know at this point.
Because is he the like? Do you know those stats? Like, who owns the majority of farmland
There's a
in
there's
America?
a there's a whole list that says it all, and I read it about a year ago, so it
Yeah,
could possibly be different as of now.
right, right, right.
But who was on the list was the Waltons,
Mm-hmm.
their family, but there's other families that are, and it's families. That's the other thing to note.
Mm.
Which takes me to just a quick thought that I'll mention is that family offices. I have been so intrigued and studying for the past year family offices because it's very interesting to me. In America, there isn't a black one. There isn't a black one of a size. Like, family offices that make it past their third generation are the ones that are most likely to last. And so, anyway, I had to throw that out there because that is what I want to build. Because
And
that
for the
is who
people,
owns the
what are
land.
family offices? So that.
Family offices.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you're familiar with the Rockefellers,
Mm-hmm.
if you're familiar with the Vanderbilts, the two interesting things about those, the Rockefellers have lasted multi generations, way past the third. The Vanderbilts, however, did not. They ended up needing to sell their land, portions of their land, in order to sustain. Those are just two examples, but we all know Rockefeller Foundation. If you don't, Rockefeller, not Jay-Z. Okay, I just want to make it clear for people.
I hate that is even a thought. People.
Yes, Rockefeller
Yes,
Foundation.
yes,
They
yes.
are international. They do a lot of work in addition to food, nutrition security, environmental, all that stuff. But they were the reason why that foundation is able to move the way they are with the amount of money they have is because of how it was set up maybe 7 generations ago, if not more than that at this point. So, and then the systemic reason, we all know how they even got their money. We
Absolutely,
even got to go there.
absolutely.
But ultimately, a family office would allow us right now to look at your family, start a trust, buy a property, any properties that you currently own, put it in a trust, get a life insurance policy on every single person living within your family. And when they pass, that life insurance pays to the trust and literally pay people from the people work for the trust, all the things. It's like your whole family is in this bubble.
Mm-hmm.
And that is what I want to build with FarmerJawn ultimately, is to be able to create true legacy that has, going back to one of the words from the beginning of our talk, longevity.
Yeah.
And that is why profitability is so important.
I think that is an elevated cooperative economic model that we don't tap into. Yeah. Yeah. And I think we a lot of our economic models are focused on survival, right? When we're thinking about susus and mutual aid and things of that nature. But taking the cooperative economic model to a next level where we are filtering and funneling through the trust system, I think we gotta figure out how to make that evergreen, like,
And
for
trust takes
real.
trust.
You said what?
Trust takes trust.
Yeah,
And that's
100. I mean, 100%. 100%. That's real
And
too.
that's where I feel like that's
That is
where we're
100%.
struggling as a people. That's why susus don't often, like, I don't know anybody with a long-standing susu.
Me neither. Me
And so it
neither.
goes back to the trust aspect. So if that's like the first level of us trying out collective economics, cooperative economics as a susu, and we can't get past that, then how are we gonna get here? Yeah. So that's I aspire
We
to.
can't get past having a dinner sometimes. So without the fight.
A family
But
reunion.
I mean, eh, that's something to aspire to. Look, now I'm about to ask you, what do you think is the first step in disrupting the ways in which we're disconnected and systemically, like rightfully so, disconnected so that we can even build that level of institution?
First and foremost is just having life insurance.
Mm,
I think that that is something that we're also struggling with the messaging of in our communities.
yeah.
And to be honest and to be able to have, do many people may not even know how they're burying their parents because it's something they don't want to think about and it's something they haven't talked about. But I don't want to struggle. I became a mother when I was 15.
Mm,
And I feel like I've been struggling at some sort of level ever since. Even with the
yeah.
familial support that I've had, even
Yeah.
all of that. I feel like there has been a level of struggle ever since.
Yeah.
And I do not want that anymore. I don't want that for my bloodline. I don't
Yeah.
want that for my people in general.
Yeah.
And I want to be able to be an example. And that's where it's the see it, be it model. We don't know we can do it or achieve it unless we see it.
Mm,
And that is where I'm looking into, is starting with my own family to show, we can have true sustainability.
yep. Yeah. And yeah, yes, sustainability is not synonymous with struggle. Like,
Absolutely. It
tossing that out
shouldn't
the window.
mm-hmm.
Tossing
Gone.
that wholeheartedly out the window. Mm. And yes, to you being a mommy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, my youngest just turned 18 on Saturday.
Not 18, girl, bye.
He's 18. My oldest is 22. My youngest grandchild is
Girl,
one, one and a half,
bye.
one and a half.
Not
And my
you
son
being a
is married.
granny.
Crazy. My son is married.
Stop.
He has a family. He's 22. He has a wife and he has a baby and another baby on the way. And then my baby just turned 18. So this is what I'm saying is like, my job is to make sure everybody's good. And
Yeah.
that's never been more clear since April 15th, 2024, when I watched that baby be born. I
Yeah.
was like, oh, it was one thing to give birth to my own children.
Yeah.
This is a whole nother level.
Yeah. You're literally seeing your lineage
Absolutely.
expand. And so what does that mean for even just on a micro level, what does that mean for our lineage to be sustainable and regenerative? For real, for
You know,
real.
that's a really great question, and I'm still searching for the answers, but I look to my 97-year-old grandmother who was a
Mm,
sharecropper in North Carolina.
mm,
And who's still alive. Like, that to me, to be able to see her holding my grandson it blows my mind to see this many generations still blessed to be above ground and still blessed to be able to tell stories.
mm.
So I look to, how her life is, and just thinking about how, there's so much land. Like, heirs property comes to mind, where there's all this land that has the Barfield name attached to it in the South that we're not touching. Nobody's touching because nobody's having the hard conversations. And I'm like, that stops. That stops. I don't know
Mm,
if it's meant for me to be able to steward that land in North Carolina.
yeah,
I don't know what the future will hold for that. But ultimately, I don't want it to be a question for mines.
yeah, 100%. I mean, that's it. I love that we landed here. And honestly, girl, you need to have, if you haven't done it already, some sort of like archival audio book with all these generations voices in one space, storytelling. I
We need to
think
talk more about that.
but no, but dead ass, dead ass. The fact that you have family members who were sharecroppers that are still alive, like, get
Mhm.
that voice, get those
Yeah.
voice notes for real, if you don't have it
Mhm.
already. But I love that we landed here because I think it comes back to it comes back to us. It comes back to the people. And of course that expands to the culture and that expands to the global movement, but it ultimately comes down to our guys lineage and what that looks like in terms of micro ecosystem building and really redefining sustainability from the inside out. And so I loved this conversation.
Thank
You. Okay,
Oh,
you.
thank you, Dom. Thank you.
You. Is there anything exciting that you wanna share that's happening,
Sure.
at the farm?
Yeah, I mean, we just broke ground on our storefront. FarmerJawn is the name of it. It's a food is medicine concept corner store. Again, looking at how we were all raised, getting our food. If you lived in an urban community, the corner store was the closest food option,
Mm.
and I wanted to rework that and to turn it into something that didn't lead to our demise and that
Mhm.
actually had healthful options for us while still looking and being familiar. So the very first one just broke ground. I have a call a
Congrats.
little bit with a check in with our general contractor. But this has been 5 years in the making since I mean, almost six. In 2020 is when I ideated this. After COVID, I started doing walks in my neighborhood, looking at going to meet to corner stores. And I saw in these corner stores that whether there was some type of fruits or vegetables, it was typically like a green pepper, a tomato, maybe a head of lettuce, and then like you could buy single eggs. A lot of people didn't know you could buy single eggs. And I'm like, what corner store you went to? I grew up going to the corner store to grab 2 eggs real quick. you know
That's real.
so we're bringing this model, but my the part that I'm most excited about is that it is a pay what you wish model, and it is a for-profit store. And so this is a new and different way to approach humanity, dignity of purchasing food, and I am looking forward to there being a responsibility that people feel for each other.
Mm.
And that's how I'm moving. So we're gonna see if it works, but my plan is to open as a pay what you wish store. And the reason for that is that I'm in a neighborhood that is the lowest health outcomes in the whole city of Philadelphia is Kensington. And
Mm.
then with that, it is also the fastest gentrified neighborhood in the entire city. While it's also the has the poorest health outcomes. How is that possible? That's by design. It's by design. And so we are planting our store in there. It's beautiful. It's going to cost $500,000, but it's so worth it. And we're putting it into motion for it to be the first of what I hope is to be meant to be many, and to support farmers. That's what this is really meant to be, is a home to support the products of farmers that can't find a way to get their products on shelves, whether it be something that's in a jar, in a box, or in fresh. We can be the home for that farmer that hasn't met the scale that is typically required of stores to get your products in. So it's going to hit so many different things, all still in line with the environmental health, physical health, and social health of people and planet. So I'm excited for that for
Girl,
sure.
I'm still stuck on the sliding scale corner store.
Yes.
Like, I love that. I love that. But you're also pushing people to create an internal paradigm shift, which I believe will nurture cultivating those richer relationships and building trust, right?
Yeah.
I feel like that's one of the ways we and you, when I say we, I mean you,
Yes.
um, one
First.
of the
Yes.
ways that you are creating a pathway for us to trust each other, and then we can move into building a trust, a real a structural trust. Yes, yes, I love this. From Skittles to taste the real rainbow. Okay, come on, come on.
Indeed.
Okay, stop it, girl. Stop it, girl. No, I love this. I love everything. You are touching financial sustainability, political, cultural, you're hitting all of the marks. Lineage oriented sustainability. Like, I love every aspect, and the Venn diagram is so beautiful. So I am giving you your flowers, girl. I know people give you your flowers all the time, but I'm giving you your flowers for real, because this I love it. I love everything that you're building, and so excited to continue to support your journey and learn and grow, and hope that you're putting out some more, guides for us to follow in your footsteps.
I appreciate that. Yeah, everything I learned, I want to figure out a way to put back as well. So it's heard. It's not. It didn't fall on deaf ears. All the things, the gems that you gave back to me in this call as well. So I
Yes.
appreciate it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I sprinkle a little bit. And to conclude our session, I'm doing what's called a sustainability soundtrack. So I'm going to ask you a couple of rapid fire questions, because we're going to create a mixtape at the end of this season.
No.
You
Okay.
ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. What song is bringing you joy right now?
Oh, it's so many, but for some reason, it's Mutt. Mutt, is that Leon? I forget his last name, and it's not even gonna make sense properly as it pertains to what I do, but as a human,
It don't
and
have to
I'll,
make sense.
yeah, it's Mutt by Leon Thomas.
Okay. We'll roll with that. Joy, look, joy is joy. Some of my joy gets real ratchet. Okay. Okay. What's what song is helping you heal when shit gets really tough?
Um, let's see, a song that helps me heal. Mm. This is supposed to be rapid. This is bad. I feel like I need to look at my
It's
phone.
okay. Trust me, everybody and their mamas go straight to their playlist.
Look at my playlist. Well, you know what? It feels so good to be alive. What's that song by Beyonce? It's cheap, so I have a running playlist. Yes, and the first song on it is "Be Alive," which came from the soundtrack of the movie with the sisters. Why can't I think
What
the
album?
tennis sisters?
This is not one of her albums. This is
Bring the
a movie
Wiggy.
soundtrack.
This is from King Richard soundtrack. Be alive. It feels so good to be
Venus and
alive.
Serena. I mean, okay. King Richard. Okay,
Be alive
boom,
is what it's called. There you go.
boom. And then lastly, what song sounds like sustainability?
Ooh,
Mhm.
Sure Thing by Miguel.
Oh, this love is a sure thing. Okay. All right, cool. Oh, you did that fast.
I got my playlist now. I'm like, okay, yeah, yeah.
You did that fast. Well, yeah. We good. Just tell the folks how they can stay connected with you and follow your work.
Yeah, so please head over to our Instagram. It's where we do most of our engagement. It's FarmerJawn, JAWN_. And obviously our website as well, which is farmerjawn.co. And ultimately, I'd love for you to come see when I'm out in the world and invite me to come out into the world where you are.
Yes.
I'm always happy to do that and engage. And also, just remember, agriculture is the culture.
That part. Agriculture is a culture. Farmer John, real Philly with it. Thank you so much, sis. And that
Thank
is
you.
a wrap.
Thank you. This was beautiful.
Now, if this conversation shifted how you see sustainability, share it and pass it to someone ready to grow food, finances, and family lineage. See you next time.
Composting cotton and cornrows.
We've turned nothing to gold since the birth of our soul. It's ingrained in our room. Black is more than flesh and bone, planted deep in our code, and we bear the fruit. Yeah, they wonder how our stride's so bold, and our pride stone cold after all we've been through. Rich as the texture of our crown, we pass it on to the youth.